So my new thing was I was going to go to trial. I was like, there's no way that they could possibly convict me because, well, I mean, let's be honest, I'm going to go viral. So just with that being said, I'm going to trial. And I don't care losing wasn't even on the table for me. I was fully convinced in my delusions that there's no way I could lose, no matter what. No matter what happened, I wasn't going to do 7 years. But that's what the DA was telling me. My dad's best friend's an attorney out of New York. He teaches at law school. He said, don't go to trial. You've admitted that you were involved in the procuring of a prostitute, which is pandering. There wasn't coercion. Coercion, would be like, hey, you want this line of Coke? And the prostitute's like, oh my God, wow, I love this. They're like, yeah, now you got to suck dicks for it. It's like, oh man. And then you get busted and they're like, well, he gave me something called cocaine and I liked it. And then I started sucking dicks and he gave me like, for every 300, he gave me $10, but towards Coke. So, it was a bargain. Or if you don't go, fuck this dude, I'm going to stab you in the stomach again. That's coercion. That's a piece of shit charge. That's pimping. That's like the classic Curtis Mayfield Superfly sense of the word, in the fur coat. And that's not me. I'm a simp. Straight up. I'm not a pimp like that. I'm not big pimping. I've never been on yachts and like white matching outfits, popping bottles and shit. That's not me. Shooting speedballs in motels, looking at my own butthole in the mirror. So what? I wasn't a pimp. You may have read about it in Penthouse magazine, but even the prostitute said that I was not a pimp. But the fact of the matter is when I got arrested, I mean, there's footage of me saying this. He's like, so basically, you're saying you're a pimp, and I'm like, well, yes, but that's an ugly way of saying it. I'm more of a broker. Now you got to remember why. What kind of convict are you? Why would you talk to the police? And listen, this is straight legal advice. Do not talk to cops. Period. Ever. They fucking anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. No. I've memorized that part. Everyone knows that. Everyone fucking knows that anything you can say is going to be manipulated, and you're going away for a long time, disproportionately. Well, you got cops in Minnesota that fucking murder someone on camera. The entire, like 99.9% of the world is like, well, that is senseless police brutality murder. They charge him with third-degree murder. That's like comparable to vehicular manslaughter. That's like getting a DUI and killing someone and then like going away for like 4 years. Taking the GED, getting out in like 2.5. And then like you can understand the racist books. You're reading Mein Kampf. You're like, oh my God, now that I'm equipped with the GED level education, I totally get this shit. Yeah, fuck other races. White power. Yeah, right. That cop's, I hope he I hope they slaughter him. Anywhere he goes, it doesn't matter. He's gonna get killed. And he deserves it. I rarely say that about a human, That guy deserves to die. But for me, and for the normal person, I mean, I'm a white guy. I grew up in the upper middle class in suburbia America, in a postcard like town. But still, I'm a multiple felon and I've got a small dick. And they know that. It's like on my file. It's like tattoos, felony convictions, small cock, convict this bitch. The fact of the matter is anything that I say, I'm reduced and compartmentalized the way that a minority would be. I'm dangerous class, even though I'm white. I'm not white to them anymore. They're like, oof. Oh yeah, you're not white anymore. All right, take away the the right to vote. Can't possess or own any firearms. Caucasian. Yep, that's gone. All right. Yep. Oh, and you can't get EBT. No welfare for you, you fucking punk. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter. I'll just not get any jobs I apply to because I have a felony. But that's cool. Keep the welfare, man. I'm cool. You know, give it to someone else that's going to sell it for 50 cents to the dollar on Skid Row. Yeah, that's tight. All right. All right, on. Okay. The reason that I admitted to those police, to the Santa Barbara Narcotics Department, the reason that I said I was a pimp in the first place, and I didn't implicate anybody. Nobody got in trouble for anything I said. Oh, it's not like I was snitching on anyone except for myself and telling them, like, oh, yeah, yeah. Dude, I'll be a big old bitch rat. What's up? Yeah, just let me out of jail now. And then give me about 3 months to work on the case, guys. I felt like I was on the same team as them. Hey, boys, got the information to fuck someone's life over. You ready for me? They're like, lay it on us. I'm like, okay. This guy named Robert is selling marijuana by the ounce. Mic drop. All right. So now that you're going to go fuck over the family guy that sells a little bit of pot on the side so he can support a small construction business, I get to go home, right? Oh, right on. All right. I'm just going to keep doing crimes, probably violent crimes, because that's what happens with informants. They just are like, oh, you can do what happened to Whitey Bulger. Even though Johnny Depp has said multiple times that Whitey Bulger told him personally that he was not a rat. The feds just said that to try to smut him up. I don't know if that's true or not. I believe you, Johnny. I do. But there are cases where people snitch and then they're like lawless. They become like cops. They give them their little junior deputy badge. It's like with the like foil gold. Like, oh, you can have this, man. You're on the squad now. Go set up some minorities. Right on, brother. The reason that I admitted it in the first place to them and the reason that I played that game and told them that I was going to be a rat was because I had to buy time because I was on federal probation. So my whole theory was that, okay, if I can just get them to release me before my federal PO finds out that I'm in jail, I can keep pushing this case off. I was getting off probation. I got busted in April of 2017. I was getting off December of 2017. We're talking months. So I figured if I kept pushing the case forward, kept pushing it off, that I would be able to deal with the case on a state level without federal probation trying to apply pressure, with me to sign a deal. And in theory, that would have worked. But then that therapist, yeah, you guys have seen, those of you on Patreon have seen the footage where she clearly set me up. What the fuck was that? Oh, you can tell me anything. I was like, anything? Like, what if I admit to doing something wrong? Like, you're not going to tell my PO, right? Oh, no, no way. No, nope. Unequivocally, nope. If you tell me anything, as long as you're not a danger to yourself or somebody else, you're good. HIPAA laws, brother. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I got arrested for pimping and pandering. She's like, oh, that's so sad. Let's process it. I'm like, okay. And then she called me back and she's like, oh, actually, I'm just an intern and I checked with my boss and we might have a slight coinkydink. Actually, what you say, if you committed a new crime, we have to tell your PO by noon tomorrow. You fucking bitch. I'm going to put that in the documentary. That's in it. And because that needs to be exposed. That's bullshit. But because I was forced to tell him, I no longer had the freedom to fight my case in a balanced way. Because if I had, I could have kept pushing it off. And then what happens is it loses its urgency. By that point, like the DA, like has already had a kid and the kid's in like, graduate school, getting like some like MFA in fine arts so she can teach third grade. And the DA is like now like in her like 50s or 60s, and she's like, oh, I'm good. Ryan, because and also when you buy time like that, it gives you an opportunity to show the courts that you've changed. I gave up pimping long ago. I'm not that pimp anymore. All right, let me go. All right. All right. I'll PayPal you $40. Right on. All right, cool. Hey, I'll see you next week. All right, Bob. Yeah, good seeing you again. Oh, how are the kids? Oh, no way. Really? 3 basketball games in a row that he won. Oh, right. Okay, cool. Later, guys. I have like my brown corduroy suit on. I'm that guy, like a bow tie. I'm like, all right, guys, see you later. And that's what happened. You can just push it off and then it kind of goes away. But I didn't have that luxury because I was on federal probation. They were trying to pressure me. So now I'm in this state of delusion and I'm trying to represent myself, going on these really long, meandering monologues about nothing, you know? And they're just like, Mr. Leone, what are you trying to say? I was like, well, it's not that because I'm trying to sound like a slick attorney. I'm like, I'm not saying that I didn't go to Albuquerque in the time allotted that you say that he went, which I could also actually be there at that time, but I wasn't. Like, sir, are you changing your plea agreement or not? What is Albuquerque? I'm not done. After the point, and if you present this to the jury, let me cite this as an example. Let the court reflect that I have exemplified Exhibit A. Let's let Mr. Leone, there is no jury. You are simply here to change your plea agreement or to just continue the case on calendar. Yeah. Not guilty still. See you next time, Your Honor. Thank you. And this is really what was going on, right? So representing myself was a bad idea. Everyone was freaking out. Oh my God, you're going to get 7 years. Oh my God. Okay. But I'm still going to represent myself. Hang up. Be like, huh. So I was on this, like, delusional shit. And I'm doing heroin. I'm doing crystal meth. I have these problems. I almost fought Midget Man. I got all these weird bush tweaker guys that, are, I hear their stories and they're ridiculous, Fuck yeah. I'm thinking about when I get out of here, I've been doing some telemarketing. My uncle makes $440 a week. No, what? No way. Legally? As legal as a crystal clear lake. Huh? I don't know. Can't hit him every time, guys. I'm sorry. I just have to listen to this shit. And like, look, I'm not, believe me, I'm all about social mobility and I don't hold it against people that if I don't think education means shit. I don't have an education. A GED. Now I understand Mein Kampf. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, what a piece of shit. Fuck this. I'm going to watch Bill Maher now. Pretend like I care about the planet. Oh, dude. Global warming? Yeah. Let's vote for something about that. But you'll come to see in the story that these guys were complete pieces of shit. Horrible people. Fucking. Anyway, so basically I'm staying there. I'm doing my routine. Everyone has animosity against me because I'm like doing some infomercial. I may as well have like a little mic right here. I'm like, all right, guys, now double pump burpees. All right, now clap. Come up and clap. Come up and clap. Everyone's like, dude, give me my fucking issue of heroin. I'm like, 3 more reps, gentlemen. Come on. 3 more reps. All right. Hey, come on. Come on, Mikey. Give me a double pump. All right. Come on, guys. Let's go do our heroin. People didn't like me. Even though I'd offered to get them all packages, all comments, right? They didn't like me. They're like, fuck this guy. This guy's a piece of shit. This fucking tattoo works better than ours. Fuck that fool. Yeah. So they are. And I keep going to court and I keep talking to Kareen on the phone and our relationship is getting stronger. And I'm kicking Suboxone, by the way. Even though I'm on heroin, and not to go into the neuroscience of how opioids work or how opiates work, but Suboxone, just for simplicity's sake, is it's a synthetic drug. So although it's stimulating the opiate receptors with the buprenorphine, it still doesn't get you all the way well, if that makes sense. I mean, most junkies are like, oh, yeah, this totally makes sense. They don't. So when you do heroin and you're kicking Suboxone, yes, you feel better and you don't feel like death and you're not freaking out and you don't have the psychological freak out aspect. And for the most part, the physicality side of withdrawal is taken care of. But like I've said before, you still have the leg twitches. And I'll just be sitting there, my leg will like spasm up and people will be, are you all right? And like I'm already like pounding milk and drinking coffee so that I can get those milk farts when I'm going to court. So like my leg will like spasm up and just like fart. But like, dude, that's it's pretty badass, dude. When I go home to my bush, maybe I'll start doing shit like that too. I'm like, wow, it's good to dream big, dude. Can I please have my issue now? So this is just like my monotonous life, and you're probably like, why are you saying the same shit over and over again? Because I'm trying to illustrate the monotony of jail, and I'm also trying to set up where things are going and what they look like because I'm waiting for this money to clear. Now, around this time, this guy comes in. I think his name was Ben. I'm not sure. This guy, Ben, was in there for DUI, right? He's one of these guys that's like just like a party guy in Santa Barbara. I didn't hang out with him because he wasn't like a junkie, but he was on Suboxone before he came to jail because he was addicted to painkillers, but not a junkie in like the sense of like tourniquet and like slamming heroin. There's a guy that like took like 5 Vicodins for like 3 weeks, and then he got the chills. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm an addict, Suboxone," and now he's like a slave to the maintenance drug for life. One of those kind of guys. So he came in and he was just like, he'd never been to jail, and you always want to fuck with guys like that a little bit just to be nice, like, all right, hey, what's up, man? I'm Ryan. Hey, we're meeting in the last tank right around 9 o'clock, and well, we're gonna have sex, all of us, group sex. But it just fell out of my ass. Always keister a lighter. Always do it. You know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Did I say that right? All right. Um, it's always sexual humor. Always that. Always. That's jail. And you could tell that he was clearly spooked. And I guess my philosophy with new white guys, because that's just how jail is. When I get a white, I'm like Captain Politics, you know, with our powers combined. I'm that guy. My philosophy is to always take these new guys under your wing, not to be predatory, not to friendly extort them or the fuck people say, to show them what's going on. Because jail, like, I mean, let's be real, it's, if you're not used to being in jail, it's a scary place. Like, if you're not going to take someone under your wing and help them, it's kind of a piece of shit way to be, especially if you're white. You're like, oh, I'm about the white race, bro. Yeah, bro, about that white race, because we're superior. I'm like, fool, you're like on a gram of heroin right now. You can't even, superior. And they just like conk out. You're like, damn, dude. So I started like kind of, like he came in, he's like, oh my God, do they give us anything for coming off of medication? I'm like, what kind of medication you're on? He's like, Suboxone. He's like one of these guys that's like embarrassed about it. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I fucking boof crack. What's up, fool? He's like, oh my God, you understand. Are they going to give me anything? And now they do give you something at Santa Barbara County Jail if you're kicking heroin. They give you, and not just an ibuprofen 800, the strong kind. They give you powdered Gatorade. Yes, not even an ibuprofen. That's how fucked up they are at this jail. You're like, I'm dying. You could be having delirium tremens, hallucinating. You'd be having seizures from coming off of alcohol or benzos. You'd be kicking methadone where you feel like you're a third-degree burn victim and you're like howling in nightmarish terror. Or you'd be coming off heroin, like shitting yourself and like getting beat up because you stink. And people are like, dude, take a hot shower and then you can have a grape Jolly Rancher. And that'll get you well. That'll make you not feel malicious, dog. Fucking grape Jolly Rancher. I'm like, you're just giving me the boat. Like, who the fuck wants grape, dude? Can't you give me cherry or something? No, dog. That's all I got, fool. It's grape. Helps when you're malicious, dog. Malicious is like dope sick. Oh, damn, fool. I'm fucking dope sick. Yeah. Eh, maybe we can go extort that white boy, dog. Guy looks like a straight bitch. I'm like, hey, man, I can hear that. Oh, no, hey, no disrespect, though, dog, kind of. I'm just kind of joking, though. I was like, look, they give you powder Gatorade. He's like, oh my god, I'm fucked. I'm like, hey man, are you gay? Because like you can't really be in GP if you're gay. They're gonna either beat you up or they might beat you up, and then when you're knocked out, suck your dick or something. There's some weirdos in here for sure. He's like, oh, it's gay. I've got a fiance. They always say that. I've got a fiance. I was like, is it a chick? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just the way you talk. I'm sorry. I don't, and hey, I got nothing against the gay. I love the gays. You know, I do. I have nothing wrong with you. You're like, hey, man, I'm not gay. It's just, well, what do you do for a living? Interior design. Oh, right on. Well, not really. Right now, I'm doing online classes, and my fiance is paying for it. I just stay at home, but I walk the dogs. I mean, okay, you get the fucking point. I was like, well, look, man, we don't have Suboxone, but I got some heroin. He's like, do you want to have sex or something for it? Because I mean, I'm no, dude. What the that it, you do get your subscription of Suboxone from a doctor, right? Or what are you? How are you? Uh, yeah, yep, hmm yeah, okay. Um, no, you don't have to have sex with me. You can just have some for free. Yeah. He like hugs me. Like, dude, you are a solid ass pecker boy. I'm like, look, man, check it out. Don't ever say that again. Okay, ever. Don't fucking hug me like that around these guys, okay? These guys live in bushes and they come to jail to wash and dry and they just sit and plan bush massacres. He's like, oh my God, I've read about that in the LA Times. So these are the poor? Dude, don't say shit like that either. And this is really how this guy was. But anyway, so I'm like, I got you. Don't trip. He's like, well, like, do you have needles? How do you? I'm like, you don't know. You don't need needles. He's like, I had no idea. I fucking make up a little Carlito because now, midget man, he'd given me more because after I'd called him a liar, he was like kissing my ass. Or after he called me a liar and I'd try to fight him over it, he was like kissing my ass. So I give this new guy, you call him Ben. I give Ben this Carlito of heroin. Put it down his nose. He's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, it feels like, it just feels like I got butt fucked underwater in a jacuzzi or something. I was like, why do you, bro, don't, really got to watch what you say, man. These don't say stuff like that. And then like he got high after a little bit and he's like, I always make fun of cocaine where people are like, yeah, when I was a little boy, I want to play professional soccer, but I never was good at kicking, but I could run. But I could run though, and but I wasn't the only one that could run. If you know what I'm talking about, there's other people that could run too, and they were kind of pretty funny as well, but they weren't good at running, but they could kick. So I don't know. Heroin's kind of the same way, where you're like, but you become less. It's you don't speak as clearly as that. You're more like soccer. He's like, dude, uh, I can see why dicks get talked over this. I'm like, dude, okay, man. Now the point of that, why I'm telling you about this guy, is because everyone started being mean to him, because this is how he talked. Oh my God, and look, just because you talk like that doesn't mean you're gay. It's just like, I don't know, high 90% likelihood. But fact is he didn't identify as that. He identified as a heterosexual guy, but he's very effeminate and he was very green and he was very new to jail. So of course everybody was I was watching the same old tricks that everybody does to green people in jail. Like, we had this big guy, I don't know. He said he was from LA. This is one of the biggest scumbags I've ever met. He was like, he'd walk around like acting like he was all swole, but he's fat. You know what I mean? But he thought he was swollen. Like, I'd be like, dude, do you know that when you go like this, you don't look big? You just look like you're fat, and you're going like this to like make it look like you're not fat, but you are. And like he was like brain dead for, because a lot of times in jail, like when there's flooded with heroin, like it was at this particular moment in Santa Barbara County Jail, you got a lot of guys that don't normally do heroin, but they're in jail, so like, fuck it. So everybody's like a zombie. Everyone's like, because that's not how heroin makes me per se. I mean, I've been doing it for almost 20 years. When I do heroin, it just makes me energetic, and it makes me so I can't come, and I get grouchy and itchy, and I always scratch my athlete's foot and it comes open, and then I get bad acne on my face. And I get sick if I don't do it. That's pretty much heroin addiction for me. But not everyone's like that. Some people do heroin and they're just like semi-conscious, and that's how pretty much everyone was in there. But this big guy like went up to Ben and he's like, "Hey, brother, yeah, I got some cold milks if you want them." Ben's like, "Oh my god, that is so generous and sweet. Yeah, let me get them." Starts pounding them. The guy's like, "Yeah, I just do 15 for one deal. So now you owe me your next 15 milks." And I don't want them warm like that. I want it colder, straight from the cart. Ben's like, "Okay." And then like guys would come up to him and be like, "Hey, Ben, hey, you got money?" Um, well, my dad's an orthopedic surgeon, but I only live in some bullshit townhouse. I don't know. I think it's like 4,600 a month. I'm not rich like my dad. Oh, okay. Yeah, here's my register number. Hey, make sure $100 gets on that book or I'm gonna fucking break your jaw, okay? All right, man. Thanks a lot. Huh. Fucking rich piece of shit. Can't believe you're born into good conditions, you fucking loser. And then you hear the same guys like when they they give you a free newspaper, once a week in jail, and they're all fighting over the fucking coupons. Like, nah, dude, you got the Tide detergent coupon last weekend. Fuck that, dude. You're so selfish, Snake. Bobby, you're the one selfish one. You always get the detergents. You know that we can sell that one. I'm like, what do you mean you guys sell coupons? Oh, dude, big time hustle. See this? This is $3 off Tide. Do you know what you can get for that outside when you're spanging? At least 10 cents. Piece of shit always takes the detergent. You just talk about it when not everyone else is around, okay, Bobby? Fine, Snake. Talk later. You're just like, what the wow. Then it's a sharp contrast from federal custody. So these guys are like extorting this guy, being mean to him. He's kicking Suboxone, freaking out. And then like he'd go up to the nurse and be like, "Can I have my powdered Gatorade?" She'd be like, "You have to wait for pill call. That's when everybody that's kicking gets their power or their powdered Gatorade." Oh man. He goes up to the guy. It's like, "All right, you win the bet. I'll have my dad send you $700. You're right. I couldn't get powdered Gatorade whenever I wanted. You're pretty good at gambling, huh?" The guy's like, "Yeah." He's all gout out, doesn't even know what's going on. So this is what's going on at this place, right? And I end up going back to court. Same thing. I'm representing myself. Same kind of shit's going on. And I get back or like after I get done with and it's just the same thing. I'm going there representing myself. "You can't handle the truth. Rome wasn't built in 3 with 1/2. I want this case dropped in the interest of justice now. Fuck the police." That's what I would do that to every time that they'd walk me through, because Karina would kiss she'd do little kissy faces, and I'd be like, "I love you," and they'd be like, "Hey, shut up." They'd like club me, and no, they wouldn't club me, but they'd always be like, "That's another write up, mister." I'm like, whatever. So then I'd be walking back, and she'd be sitting with her best friend Kendra and like my parent, and like they'd be like ushering me down down the aisle back to the tank, like after my court appearance, and I would just look at Karina and Kendra, my parents, and I'd be like, fuck the police. Acting like they wouldn't know that I said to be like, hey, and then get back in the elevator. Scoo me. Like, why are you talking like that? Scoo me. Go back. Um, but yeah, I would say fuck the police. And like now my like, and I'd get like little incident reports, and then be like, it would like be like, some form disciplinary letter from like the captain or whatever. It would be like, we have decided in the disciplinary committee hearing that you were actually not present for. You've lost all visitation rights until the year 3016. I'm like, oh, that checks out. All right, cool. Didn't matter really too much about the visits. My parents at that point were getting older, and I did get to see a visit with them before I lost all my visitation rights. But Karina couldn't come see me because she got in a drunk in public like within a year, and that was like a rule. If you've been like too booked into that jail within a year, you couldn't visit anyone in there. And so I had gone to court, probably one of those times where I was like, fuck the police. And I went into the tank, and there was this like emo kid. I'll never forget him. He was like emo, and he had like all like color tattoos that like the kind of shit where like he goes to a tattoo parlor. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to get I'm trying to get some work done. You always notice that the trendy tattoo people are like, yeah, who did your work, bro? Some sick ink. And you're like, all right, man. We're not in like a teen comedy. You don't have to talk like that. You could just say like, "Who did your tattoos?" Sometimes when you try to sound like hip like that, it just comes off like awkward. Damn, man, that's some really dank shading. Like, dude, it's a word. There's no shading. Oh yeah, 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 for sure. So I see this emo kid, and he's like the kind of guy that goes and he's like, yeah, I want some ink done, and he just starts pointing out like, yeah, oh yeah, that sailboat bomb. Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I need that. The laughing drum and the laugh now, cry later. Need that on my neck. Oh, dude, the Sacred Heart. Need that by my throat, dude. The dagger with the coiling snake around it. Need that on my ribs. And then they're just blasted out, and they look like a tattoo coloring book or something. It's like no original pieces at all. There's some people that just are in it for the aesthetic. You know, like I want some tribal barbed wire around my thigh. Tattoo artist is like, fuck, another one of these guys. Okay, yeah, man. Oh, how does it look? Bitchin', bro. Bitchin'. So I see this emo kid, and of course, he's got the gauges. He's probably what I'd imagine the character that I always do, where I'm like, damn, homie, you fuck like a hog, homeboy. That guy. This is like him, but he's sick, and he's like sitting there, and he's like all pale. And now this time I went to court, and I brought some heroin, so I was kicking people down. But by the time that I ran into him, I didn't have any left. He's sitting there, and he's just like, I know the look. Unequivocally, that is the kicking methadone look. I know it because it doesn't look like normal kicking where you're just like kind of rubbing. Like you look full on dead. Like that's what they should do in films where they need to have like a dead body, but instead of having like a mannequin, they should just get someone kicking methadone, and you're like, and you look dead. And I like went up to him. I was like, "Hey, man, are you okay?" He's like, "You won't understand. My dad yells at me, and now my entire body is a showcase of tattoo work to symbolize the artistic manifestation of yelling." Oh, like, yeah, you're right. I fucking no, I have no idea what you're talking about with that. But are you all right? Like, are you kicking methadone? He's like, oh man, how'd you know, bro? I said, well, believe it or not, I'm a junkie myself. He's like, oh yeah, I'm so sick. And it was actually, I'm making a joke about it, but he was actually really sick, and it sucked. And I knew that feeling, especially with methadone. I mean, getting dragged to court in shackles and handcuffs when you're kicking methadone, I mean, that's like waterboarding. It's like that bad. It's torture. And the fact that the American Medical Association classifies it as a disease, and then we get treated as addicts in this kind of barbaric disregard for human decency is disgusting. I really do believe that one day we'll look back on it and just be like, wow, we were we're fucked up to addicts. Maybe someday it'll just be like rapists and pedophiles, and then you can treat them as if they're not human because they're not. That's some that or murderers. That's another bad. I mean, that's like something where like I'm like, oh yeah, all right, let's vote. Everyone in favor for the cop that killed the innocent black guy in Minnesota, George Floyd. Do we think that cop or that the guy that murdered him should go to prison for life? Everyone in favor say aye. I would be like aye. Just like I mean, that guy deserves prison, life sentence. That's it. Um, I don't know what the point of that was. I'm just really mad about that, as I'm sure everybody else is. It's just disgusting. Um, but it made me sad that he was sick like that, and he was kind of telling me a story about how he was in love with this girlfriend, and she was older, and she had a kid already, and that she wasn't talking to him. No one was looking out for him. He didn't have any money. He was dope sick. He was there for a probation violation just for having a dirty drug test for heroin. And he had been in the methadone clinic, but he had a little relapse, I guess, because his girlfriend had left him. And he was like, I'm more sad about the kid. I'd gotten closer, and I understand that. It's like I've been sad about that when I've dated somebody that had a child that wasn't my child, or maybe sometimes like when I've been in a relationship for multiple years with a dog, I end up missing the dog more than the girl. um I don't know. I sympathize with him, and I remember, it was one of those things where he was actually on a dry run himself that day, so he had to sit in this dungeon in the tank all day long, waiting for them to call his name, to go to court, and they never did. So he was there from like probably got up at like 5 in the morning and was there until about 5 in the afternoon in this little dungeon, kicking methadone, going through pain that you can't even imagine if you haven't been through it. I mean, kicking heroin is probably 1,000 times less severe than kicking methadone, literally. The reason you don't hear that many talk about how they kicked methadone cold turkey is because most people never have. Very few people have done it, survived it, and actually gone on to talk about it. Most people have kicked it a little bit. Maybe you'll go to jail and you'll be like off it for like 5 or 6 days or a couple weeks, but to go through the full on cold turkey 6 month withdrawal of methadone is it's a nightmare. So I found out that he was in a cell relatively close to me, in like a unit where like I could fish him down some heroin. I was like, look, man, I have some dope back at the unit. I had someone else holding it for me or whatever. And when I get back there, I'll shoot you something. He's like, oh, he's like, at this point, he's like the guy in the desert that's like seeing mirages of like water, and he's like dying. He's like, oh, he can like barely communicate that's not. But I mean, I'm a junkie. I was like, oh, okay, you're thankful, and if you ever get money, you'll be sure to send it to me if I'm in prison. Dope, I got you. So I end up going back to the jail, and I get together a little package, and I call his name, because you call people's name like when you're in jail and you'll fish stuff. You put something on a string, you slide it down like the hallway to the other tank. It'll be like out of your view, but you can talk and you yell and like say it's East 4. Hey, East 4. And then that's called being on the line, or like making a phone call or whatever. Silly. It's like children playground rules or whatever. Hey, East 4. And I don't remember this kid was named. Hey, is emo Gage there? They're like, who? I don't know, some emo fucking weirdo with gauges. Oh, the sissy. And you hear like all this laughter. It's like drunk pirates. And then you hear his little voice. I mean, I didn't talk to him since court. It was a few hours later. It's like, yes. And I'm like, hey man, I got that for you. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot a line down to you so you can have it. He's like, oh. Okay. I gave it to him, you know, because I knew what it was like. I gave him like a nice little chunk of heroin, like that. Probably was like that guy probably never forgot that I did that for him, you know. Probably to this day, he's like, man, remember that icon that I met? No, I'm just kidding. Remember the icon I met in county? He went on to make YouTube videos. He gave me heroin once when I was sick, kicking methadone in the county. That's a good dude, man. So I gave him that, and I mean, you know, the reason that I even bringing it up is because I was doing a lot of nice stuff for people. I was getting all these people the packages, I was making people work out, trying to get the white car a little more structured. This guy Ben came in. He's like, "Oh my god, the interior design on this place is horrendous. You know, it'd be cute. I'm thinking teal with an off shade of aqua. It's not done enough." Like all like high and confident on heroin. I'm like, dude, I can't protect you too much longer if you talk like that. Like you're just itching for a butt fucking or a beat down. Oh, okay. Yeah, no more of that. Weirdo. But I was looking out for all these people. Now, Midget Man was getting out of jail on Friday, right? Karina was getting the other $600 on Friday, and the plan was that he was going to meet up with her and she was going to clear off that debt, you know? So somebody's blowing my phone up. That particular night, oh, I got a new phone, by the way, but new iPhone 11, but I have not transferred it yet, so I'm using my old cracked one. I dropped one of them in the toilet, and I'm on some other phone that's cracked, but I got a brand new one. I hate transferring phones. It's like fuck, feels like you're moving apartments. It shouldn't be that complicated because everything should just be backed up, but I don't back anything up. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he was getting out on a Friday, and the whole plan was that Karina was going to meet up with him. He was going to give her the rest of the money, and or she was going to give him the rest of the money, and then he was going to leave his cell phone number with everyone in the tank. They were going to call, he was going to give him the green light to give me the dope that I paid for, and that was that. So he was getting out. He gave me like another gram right before he got out. He's like, all right, man, I'll give you the rest. Since you already gave me that 600, I trust you. Here's a gram for right now. And, you know, when I get out, we'll do the plan like we talked about. I was like, all right, cool. So he got out. I went to court that day. Go to court again. It's like another appearance. Nothing, you know, I probably was like, fuck the police. And I probably did a milk fart, but that's about it. I got to see my beautiful girlfriend pregnant with my child looking as beautiful as ever. And aside from all that, you know, there's nothing memorable from that particular court date. It was just, you know, I'm going through the same motions over and over again. I get back from court, and that's the night that we had commissary coming. So I'd gotten packages for everybody, and we were waiting to get it that night. And you know, Midget Man had already gotten out, and the big lop guy, that guy had all the heroin. He's like the biggest guy there, and we will get into that night and everything that's about to happen in the next installment of this series. I can tell you, this series is about to get fucking hardcore, like straight war zone, pretty much from this next point on. Things just start getting really out of control in this particular series. I'm sorry it's taken so long to get to this series, but we're here now and we're going to get through it. I hope you guys stay safe. I'm not encouraging anything bad, but I'm hoping that the police brutality stuff actually changes and that this is a big wake up call for the country because it's bullshit. And yeah, I'm not black or Mexican, but I have a son that's half Mexican. You know, I'm not trying to have some piece of shit cop racially profile him someday for doing nothing and arbitrarily kill him and then get charged with third-degree murder. It's like manslaughter. It's like, oh, it was an accident. No, motherfucker, you killed George Floyd on purpose. You have a history of being racist. You have a history of assault, violence. I hope that piece of shit burns in hell after he gets murdered. Well, wait, I shouldn't say that. I'm just joking. Everything I say in the videos is just coincidental, fictional, and from the author's imagination. Please press like, comment, subscribe, patreon.com/Ryan Leone. The Paul Narcan Project is now up, ready to go. Thank you guys for everybody that's helped with that. It took a long time. I've registered it now. We got all the paperwork for the nonprofit. I have employees working for it. We got the site up, paulnarcanproject.com. Go sign up for free Narcan. Certain states we can send it free, certain states where we can't, but I'm sending it for free to every single state, and that's possible with my 501c3 tax exempt status. Appreciate everybody for helping me see that vision all the way through. Stay safe, guys. Don't forget to wash your hair. What the fuck? Wash your hands. And get tan. Fuck snitches. Palabra. One more time. Palabra.